What's up, everyone? Happy Sunday, and welcome back to another episode of Greels Reels. We got a great episode teed up for you guys today. It is with former Barrie Colt and 67, Lucas Chiodo. I met Lucas when he was traded in his OA season from Barrie to Ottawa. Great guy, just finished up a year of pro hockey over in Italy, and he just committed to the Guelph Gryphons, so he's coming back to the U Sport League, going to be in Canada again. We discuss all this through the podcast, so I really hope you do enjoy it. And yeah, without further ado, here you go. So first thing I want to talk about is your time with the Colts. So I was looking at it, and I'm gonna make the first take of this podcast here. I'm gonna say the steal of the 2014 OHL priority draft was yourself there.
Yeah, getting drafted in the last round, I didn't really, expect to make the team my first year, but Dale Howardchuk was the coach at the time, and he called me and said, "Don't worry about the number. You're just the same as everyone else, so you just have to prove yourself at camp." And I had a good summer and a good camp, and they signed me my first year, so I was really happy.
Yeah, because what's interesting I find too, and I was looking at that last round, and you're the only guy to play for the team that drafted him. Every other person in that draft didn't even play in the OHL
Yeah, I
or
think
in the league.
when I signed, Jason Ford, the GM, told us like me and my family that's the first time ever that a 15th round is signed. So, it's pretty cool to be in that category.
What was it like? Just mentally kind of preparing for that, like trying to make the team going into that roster.
Definitely motivated me, I think, getting drafted in the last round, having to prove yourself, every scrimmage, every drill you did in camp. So, I think it was a good thing for me. It kept me humble and motivated me to want to make that team even more.
What what was it like being coached by Howard Truck?
Yeah, he's a great coach. His presence as soon as he walks in the room, everyone feels it. He's a confident guy, knows what he's talking about, and you know, probably one of the best coaches that I've been on a team. So, yeah, nothing but good things about Dale.
So the your time spent in the OHL was mainly with the Colts. What was that like? Like what are some memories with the Colts organization there that still kind of stay strong to this day?
Yeah, getting drafted by the Colts and playing for them that long. I actually lived just outside of Barrie, so when I was younger, we actually owned a box in the BMC. So, I have memories going to the games with my dad, watching guys like Brian Little. So, it's something as a kid I always wanted to play for the Colts. But just the memories is we had such a close group of guys every year. I mean, just hanging out. My billet family was unreal. The Wells family is such a good family. Our house was kind of where all the boys would hang out, and she would put on a feast for dinner. Like all the guys would come over for dinner. So just kind of that thing sticks out for sure.
What were the meals like? What was on the
Meals.
stove?
Oh, I don't know. She would kind of just mix it up, have a bunch of everything, like pierogies, steak, just everything. And she made a bunch of it, so there's always leftovers.
So with all those like childhood memories, what was it like when you finally got to wear that Colts jersey for the first time?
Yeah, it was definitely a special feeling. I actually played Barrie minor growing up, so once I put on the OHL jersey, it was just kind of a dream come true. It's something I always wanted since I was a little kid.
Do you remember that first game?
Yeah, so it was in my when I was 16, Oshawa Generals. I wasn't even supposed to make the team out of camp and even play a game, but there's a lot of guys that were at NHL camps, so there's room for me. But yeah, definitely a game I'll always remember.
What was that first shift like?
Nerve wracking for sure. I remember a lot of butterflies, going to the rink and warm up, but after the first shift, it's just another game.
Yeah. I was looking at some of the old media stuff from the Colts, and I came across this old little video that you did for a radio station. You guys were gearing up to go down to a game in the States, and they had you try some American snacks and stuff like that. So I got a little
Yeah.
chuckle at that. What do you think of that?
Oh, that was pretty funny. I mean, they definitely have better snacks in the States than here, that's for sure.
The So like stuff like that, like any memories or anything like kind of resonate with your time in Barrie as a junior player, because it's a lot of eyes focused on you at a young age, right from the get go, really.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely, like you said, the bus trips, the road trips are definitely, a lot of good memories there, staying over Flint, Saginaw, those type of things. But yeah, like I said before, we had such a close group of guys. It's guys I'm still friends with now, even though I'm out of the OHL. We still keep in touch and hang out and stuff like that. But yeah, just road trips and stuff like that. A lot of memories.
Yeah, any funny bus stories come to mind?
No, actually, it's in Ottawa. The boys played Schnarps, just like a card game, but we would get really intense into that game and a couple of daggers thrown. But yeah, probably that they'd get into it in the Schnarps game in Ottawa.
It's always the card games that gets people going, eh? Like whatever
Yeah,
bus
yeah.
I'm on, it's always it seems to be cards. Another big one is I forget the game now. It's like where you try and take over regions of the world. Completely drawn a blank, but those two games I find definitely get a lot of teams fired up.
Yeah, yeah. The boys get fired up for sure over that stuff.
You get to play all of like 5 years in the OHL. What was any like competitors come to mind of guys that like you just remember you either like hated going up against or was just like, man, like I can't believe I'm on the ice with this guy right now. Like I'm trying to compete with this dude.
Yeah, probably my second year in Barrie. We played Erie, and it's when they had Stroman, DeBrincat, and all those guys. And I remember we weren't that good that year. We think we finished like last, and I was line matched against those guys. So it was definitely like, oh no, can't believe I'm playing against these guys. And I think I went -4 that game too. So
Uh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
always
it
a
was a
tough
tough
one.
one.
What about
Mhm.
guys you played with?
Guys I played with, maybe my first year in Barrie, we had guys like Kevin LeBanc and Andrew Mangiapane. Like those guys were really good. 50 goals, 100-point guys. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
You got to play with Shmestikov for a little bit too, eh?
Yeah, yeah.
What was
He's a great
what was
player, good person.
what was it like playing with him?
Yeah, I mean he's so skilled, and every time he gets to the rink, he always has a smile on his face. Always wants to do the extra work. So yeah, great player and even better person. Like he's so humble, even though he's so skilled.
Yeah, eh? Is it like how's it feel just getting to watch guys like teammates just like kind of fulfill that NHL dream there now?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, when you get to see them on, Sportsnet, hometown hockey, all that stuff, and you remember he was in the locker room with you, and he was just on your team. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, eh? He he is there any like moments with him where you were like, wow, like this guy is definitely going to be something special, whatever like whatever team he gets drafted to? Was there ever one of those
Yeah,
aha moments?
yeah. I mean, probably the first game he played in Barrie, I think he had 4 or 5 points, and you could tell like this guy's gonna have a season. He's so skilled.
Okay. Um, so that was your last full season with Barry, and then going into your overage season. Um, what was that like at the start of the year playing with Barry? Like, what were your expectations for yourself there?
Yeah, I mean, going into the last year, I had a lot of expectations, wanted to do well personally and wanted the team to do well too. But, we were struggling for a bit, and then coming up to the trade deadline, I wasn't really knowing what to expect, like if I was going to get traded or if I was going to stay. But I ended up getting traded to Ottawa the last day of the deadline, so I was pretty excited to go to that team because they're doing really well.
Yeah, how's the thought process going from a team like Barrie that I believe were like on the outskirts of the playoffs when you got dealt to, now all of a sudden you're on a team that's like people are talking, Mem Cup for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool, like to have that opportunity I had in Ottawa. Like they're such a great team, and every time we played them in Barrie, it's like, oh wow, these guys are good. They're gonna go far in the playoffs. So when I got traded to them, I was so excited because I knew we had a real legit shot of going to the Mem Cup. So it was definitely exciting.
I found it funny. I've talked about this with you for a little bit there, but so my first ever OHL game that I shot was the Colts versus the 67s at Ottawa, and this was when you were still with the Colts. And it was funny because I was just mainly shooting the 67s, but there were a couple good moments where you were kind of in my frame, so I took the shots anyway. And I didn't really have any need for them, right? And I mean, obviously, the 67s aren't going to need them, but I was just like, I told somebody, I was just like, oh yeah, here, I also left these three photos of this Barrie guy, uh, and I made the joke. I was like, feel free to use them if he ends up getting dealt here. And then sure enough, a few weeks later, you were on your way to Ottawa.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Foreshadowing, maybe.
Yeah, maybe I jinxed it. Who knows? Maybe I put it in the
Yeah,
air.
yeah, yeah.
So, what was that transition like? Like, take me through your first few days in Ottawa.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely different because all I've known is Barrie, and even when I was in Barrie, I was living at a billet house, but I was 30 minutes if I wanted to go drive to my family and get a home cooked meal. But yeah, all the guys were really nice. Like even in Ottawa, we had such a close group of guys, and my billets in Ottawa were amazing. Like I had such good experience with my billet families in Barrie and Ottawa, so they made the transition pretty easy.
Yeah, hey, and so I mean, coming in at the trade deadline, I mean, there was a couple pieces leading up to that week, and two of them were like overagers, yourself and Maximovich. What's like the extra pressure in that deal where it's like, okay, you know what, like these guys are trading for me to get a step up in their game and help better their team because I mean, you only get to have three OAs, right? So you kind of want to make use of them.
Yeah, definitely a little added pressure. I mean, going into games, you just want to give it your all and show them they did the right thing by trading for you. So, yeah, just every game, every practice, proving yourself.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, I definitely think you proved yourself. 29 points in 18 playoff games. That's
Mhm.
quite the number. What was that? I mean, looking back, what was that run like? I mean, because it was historic, right? You had a 14 and no start.
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, I'll remember that for the rest of my life, probably. I had so much fun. I mean, all the guys were having fun too. That's why I think we're doing so well. We weren't putting too much pressure on us. We are just playing the game, and we're loving it every game, every series.
Now, I mean, it's hard enough to go on a win streak like that in the regular season, let alone playoffs. Like, what was your thought process through it all that? Were you just like, man, like when is this going to end or like how long is this going to go on for?
Yeah, I mean, we were just playing, and I guess we weren't really thinking about it at the time. We were just playing and having fun. But looking back at it now, like that's pretty crazy. We won 14 straight in the playoffs. I mean, not many teams do that in a season, but in playoffs, it makes it that much extra special.
Yeah, is it like I mean obviously it's always tough when like you don't get the end result that you want. Is it a little bit easier to look back on that with fonder memories just because of like how the rest of the time went like in the rounds?
Yeah, like it definitely we came up a bit short. We all had the goal to go to the Memorial Cup. That was our goal from, the beginning of the playoffs. But looking back at it now, I had so much fun and I know all the boys did too. So we can look back on it and know we gave it our all and, it was like best experience of our lives.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I got to just kind of, be on the sideline of a lot of that run, and it was incredible. And even the like just like winning the East, man. Like that was I was looking at some old photos that I took of you, and I got goosebumps when one of them came up. It was I think either you scored the goal or it was I think it might have been Felber's goal to tie it, and it was just like the celebration from that and like your reaction. It was it's pretty fun to look back on, and it's all good memories, right?
Yeah, for sure. I think that was Felly's goal. He sellies pretty hard, gets the guys going.
Yeah, yeah. What was it like playing with a guy like him? I mean, he's quite the character.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like I tell my friends if they ask about Felly, like what's he like, and I just tell them, you'll never meet a guy like him. I mean, he's so funny, such a nice guy, such a good player too. So yeah, it's pretty cool to play with him.
Yeah, he honestly had one of the craziest overager seasons I think I've seen in a while.
Yeah, for sure. I think he had 59 goals or something. Like that's ridiculous, but he's competitive. He wants to do well, and a guy like that on your team, it makes everyone else want to do that much better too.
Yeah, 100%. You always got to be surrounded by just key pieces to keep everything going, right? And I found it was just it was really cool the dynamic that a lot of you guys had in the locker room, right? Like there was a mixture of just talent, right? Like with three solid OAs, along with like some top prospects with Jack Quinn, Marco Rossi, and then like key defensemen too. You had Baller there, who obviously just won a gold with Team Canada, along with like guys like Hoffenmeyer who just signed an AHL deal. And then of course like in net too, you two solid goaltenders, and then like DiPietro as well, who's now with Utica. Like looking back, like is it almost like an awe of like kind of the stardom that was in that locker room? Like could you
Yeah,
believe that?
yeah, for sure. I mean, that's probably the best team I've been a part of. I mean, we had everything like four solid lines. All our D were solid. Our goalies were amazing. I mean, like the whole locker room, anyone on the ice, there's gonna something that's gonna happen.
For sure. I always find it interesting too though, because like when you see people like transfer and like alumni affiliations almost like for schools and universities, like when you look back on like your junior, like are you just as proud as like your short time like in Ottawa as like the 4 years of Barrie, or do you look at one of those and just kind of like hold one above the other?
Oh, like the way I see it, I just look at my whole career, like combine them. I'm so proud of what I did in Barrie and even in Ottawa, like the playoff run I had. I'm proud of myself. I thought I did everything I could, but yeah, I mean, the whole time in the UHL, being drafted in the 15th round, I'm proud of myself. I came a long way.
Yeah, no, I mean it's an incredible career, and it's really fascinating too, because I think a lot of people just like from the get-go were just kind of like counting you out, and like you never really let that phase you or stop you. Like when you're playing, like are you listening to those critics a lot, especially in junior when you're so young?
Oh yeah, just every game I came into it saying I got to prove everyone wrong who thinks I can't be here. So just kind of playing with the chip on my shoulder and doing the best I can.
Yeah, what would you because I mean you're a shorter guy, and a lot of people just think that, I mean, almost the cutoff to be excelling at hockey is like 5'10". Like what would you say to those people?
Just I just got to be the hardest working guy. If I can outwork a guy who's 6 foot and I'm around 5'6", I mean, I'd pick me over him. So just be the hardest working guy that I can be.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's hard work. What is it? What's the saying? It's like heart beats talent when talent doesn't work, or something like that.
Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure.
So after the season there, you were kind of like a free agent almost for the first time in your hockey career. What was going through your mind throughout that summer? Like, did you know you were going to end up in the Alps League right away in Italy, or?
No, like that summer is pretty crazy. had no idea what I was gonna do. I actually was committing to Guelph last summer, and this opportunity came up in Italy, and I thought, what 20-year-old gets to go to Italy and gets paid and gets to experience that. So, you know, just thought to myself, why not? Always have the schooling package to fall back on if, something happens after the year, might as well try it.
So, like, how much did you know about that league beforehand?
Nothing. Like I had no
Yeah.
clue, no clue about it.
Okay, so you got a little Italian in your background though too, eh?
Yeah, my dad's Italian. I actually have my Italian passport with me, so that helps
Okay.
too.
So what was it like it because I mean, you theoretically could have ended up in like any country like say France or Germany, Switzerland, like so I mean, what did it mean to kind of end up there?
Yeah, it was definitely cool experience, knowing that I have family down there, so it was definitely pretty special to me to play there.
Mm. So just like take me through a season over there. Like I mean, and because the team you were playing for was HC Faza, right?
Yeah, Fossa Falcons.
Yeah. So just what was that like? What are the facilities like? Coaching staff, teammates. Yeah.
The stadiums and stuff are pretty good, just like what you have here, the coaches and everything, like North America, the way they run things. You play on bigger ice surface though, so I think that suits my game, a lot of skating, but yeah, definitely good hockey as a surprise.
Yeah. Any characters in that dressing room? Like what's because I assume you got people kind of from all over the world there.
Yeah, we actually had a 40-year-old on our team from USA, but he has his Italian citizenship too. But yeah, he was like the dad figure in the room. I called him dad though, so I'd make a couple of jokes.
So how did he attain that dad status? Was he chauffeuring people around?
Yeah, just being a role model, showing the ropes for all the younger guys and stuff. So yeah, definitely a good leader, someone you want on your team.
Yeah. What was the competition like for people that
Uh,
don't know?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, you play teams in Austria and Slovenia, but the Italian teams when they play each other, there's definitely a little more intensity in the games. But yeah, it's competitive hockey.
Yeah. So what do you think when you ended up like leading the team at the end of the year in points?
Uh, yeah, yeah, I was happy with that. I mean, that's my game, I guess, getting goals and assists. So, when I do that, I take pride in it. I feel like I help my team when I'm on the score sheet. So yeah, it's definitely something I'm proud about.
Was this something that you like kind of expected from yourself going into it, or was it almost like a little bit of a surprise?
No, a little bit. I expect that from myself. Like I said before, I just want to prove to people that I can play at a level that I'm capable of. So yeah.
I was looking at the roster of the team, and I mean, you guys had some people who were like, there was definitely like a wide age range. I think you had a goalie who was played a few games at like 17 years old, and then obviously you just mentioned like the 40-year-old teammate. What's it like going from a locker room where it's like everybody's, pretty much the same age, where it's like you're 16 to, the oldest you're going to be is 20 to now all of a sudden you have 17 to 40.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty funny, coming from the OHL. Like, some people have girlfriends or whatever, and you go there and people got wife and kids. So yeah, it's definitely, a mix of everything. Like you said, we had young guys and old guys, but same thing. They're all good guys. They all wanted to do good in hockey. So, it's good. Good experience for sure.
So what was living in Italy like?
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Where I was living, the town, it was like in the middle of the mountains. They get ski tourists and stuff like that there. So in the winter time, it's a pretty cool place to be.
So is that how is that how you would say you described your like spare time skiing and
No, we actually weren't allowed. It's in our contract. We weren't allowed to ski or anything. But
okay.
on an off day, we took the ski lift up and would get some pizza or whatever up in the mountains.
Fair enough. So what kind of like what goes into just trying to figure out a contract for someone who is all the way in, like, say, Ottawa or Barrie to find themselves in some spot in Italy.
My agent was really good. He has good connections in Italy because he played there, but he definitely helped me out with that and got everything I needed, and I couldn't have asked for more. It was pretty good.
So obviously now too, the like Italy was hit pretty hard with the COVID-19 situation kind of at the tail end of your career, and I assume like your season ended up getting cut short as well.
Yeah, so with our team, we actually didn't make playoffs. So when I came home, it was good timing because a week later it got hit really hard, but they ended up canceling the season for the guys in playoffs.
Okay. Yeah, because I was gonna ask like how like what was it kind of like, I guess, like leading up in those last few weeks? Was there anything like crazy going on, or?
Oh, definitely just talk in the room, like it's getting kind of bad and stuff, kind of scares you a bit, but I mean, wasn't a lot of talk in the town and stuff. Like there was no cases when I left, but apparently it's pretty bad now.
Yeah. Is your family all okay over there?
Yeah, everyone's good.
Yeah, it's always great to hear, right?
hmm
So yeah, I guess you're kind of concluding your time there in Italy. What like how would you kind of wrap that up in terms of just like the whole season? Like how would you describe it?
Oh, it's definitely good life experience. I mean, something I'll always look back on and have good memories of, and something I look to do down the road if the opportunity comes up again.
Yeah, because one thing I found interesting is because I mean you recently just committed to the University of Guelph now, but a lot of people when they finish junior they go and they end up in the youth sports league and then they look for overseas opportunities afterwards. Why? What was it where you were just like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna do this year first overseas and then I'm gonna come back.
Yeah, definitely something, the contract came up and it's something I decided I wanted to do, and like just wanted to tell myself, what if this doesn't come up again? So might as well take advantage of it. And I always have my schooling package to fall back on if, this doesn't work out. But yeah, definitely just something I wanted to do and see how I did because I'm a competitive guy. I want to see how I match up against pro players. So I thought I did pretty good for my first year, and committing to Guelph, it's just something I wanted to use my schooling package and put in my 3 or 4 years there and go back to Europe after maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean it definitely seems like it's a pretty solid plan, and I mean you're going to a great you're going to a great program there. It hurts me to say it because I've had Griffins knock me out of the teams that I've been working with, knock out of the playoffs like three of the past like 3 years. So they just had a good matchup there against the GGs in that Queens Cup. That was a. Did you pay attention to that game at all?
Yeah, I was following it for sure. I think double overtime or something or triple.
Triple overtime.
Triple.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's nuts.
Yeah, it was on the other side of that. It was a heartbreaker. I mean, it's crazy just like as everything's kind of like going on and like you don't you maybe expect like one overtime and then like two it's like, okay, you know what, yeah, it's a tight game, like it's playoffs, but I mean, three overtimes, it's like nobody ever really expects for that, right? So I mean, all your
Yeah.
preparation kind of gets thrown off, and like, I mean, I'll only speak for myself. It's like, you kind of line up all the batteries for the equipment and stuff like that to kind of last you through a game and like an overtime
Yeah,
period.
yeah. Didn't
And
even
now
think
it's
of
like,
that.
yeah, now you're just kind of getting to the point where it's like, geez, like if I need my if we go another period, I might have to go to a Best Buy or something like that.
Pull out your phone, take pictures on that.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah, that'd be something. But yeah, so what was it about Guelph that made that the destination for you?
I mean, just how like their upside, like the past 3 or 4 years, they keep getting better and better. And I mean, the conversations I had with the coaches, they're such great guys, and I just feel like my game would fit in really well with their systems and the way they talk about their players and how they develop them. It's just something I thought was a good match with my personality and stuff.
For sure. And I'm curious too because I mean, you mentioned how the bigger ice surface over in Italy kind of suits your game and helps you. I mean, it's definitely beneficial in the sense that like, Guelph's home arena kind of has the similar ice surface where it's bigger. Did Was that a factor in the decision?
Just a little bit. I mean, not when I was thinking about going there last year, but coming back from Italy, playing on the big ice surface, I mean, it's definitely an upside for sure.
What do you think of that dynamic now? So like you'll be going through a season where whenever you're home, you're gonna have this one like you know ice surface where you're used to it, it's the bigger ice, and then all of a sudden the second you're on the road, it's back to North American style.
Yeah, it might be a little weird, but I mean, growing up, we are playing on the normal life surface anyways. So I mean, just I guess when we're playing at Guelph, it'll be, I just got to take advantage and use my speed. So yeah.
Has has it been going through your mind like any ways to like adjust to that so quickly?
No, probably just take it one game at a time. I mean, it can't be too much difference, so just take it one game at a time for sure.
100%. What do you think? Like, what are your expectations for next season with Guelph?
So for next season, I'm pretty sure I have to sit out the year in redshirt because of the rule that I played a full year pro. So,
Oh
I'm just
yeah,
gonna try to get better. Just gonna try to get better each day. I mean, get on the ice as much as I can and get in the gym as much as I can.
yeah. Actually, I didn't. I kind of forgot about that rule because I you see it with transfers all the time, and you just like you think about it, but you kind of forget with pro hockey. So what are you? Yeah, I guess what was your thought process behind that? Where it was like, okay, if I make this decision, I am going to have to sit out a year, and how do you plan on like almost compensating for that?
Yeah, I mean, when I made the decision, it was definitely tough that I can't play competitive hockey for a full year. But, there's guys that get injured and miss the full year. So this is a year that I can get in the gym, put my time there, get bigger, faster, stronger, and, just get on the ice as much as I can and work on my skills. So I think it's a year that I can still get better. So I'm just going to use it and, be ready for next season or whenever I'm able to play again.
For sure. Maybe stockpile on a couple courses too, eh? Get
Yeah, yeah.
get ahead while you have no hockey commitments. What are you going to be studying?
I'm not sure yet, but maybe just general or get into sports management. I'm not sure yet what I'm taking.
Okay, fair enough. I've looked at a few sports management courses, but yeah, no, it's Guelph's. I've been at Guelph for their homecomings, obviously, like when they're playing football teams and stuff like that. Like for me, like I'm always on the GG side of it, but they've definitely got a pretty crazy, just fan atmosphere on the football side for what I'm talking about because I haven't really seen too much of the hockey besides the Queen's Cup. But yeah, I think you're gonna have an exciting 4 years.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, like I said before, each year they seem to get better and better. So I'm excited to be part of it and hopefully push for, nationals or, another Queen's Cup, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I wish all the best for you, but I'm still gonna root for my GG.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, when I seen when I think that's the first like Guelph tweet I've ever interacted with in the past 4 years is your signing and your commitment with the Gryphons, and I'm excited to see you in this U Sport League. I think it's going to be a good fit for you, and I think you're like once you hit the ice, I got some high expectations for you.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem, man. I mean, yeah. Hopefully, I'll see you soon on the rink side sometime, and yeah, hopefully the GG's edge out, and I can give a toss a couple chirps your way.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, but the last thing I actually wanted to talk about was the fan experience in Italy, because I mean, when people think of like overseas hockey countries, the top ones that kind of come to mind almost are like Germany, Sweden, like though Russia even. But I got to witness firsthand there back in August, like what the Germany crowds were like with like small attendances of like 800. They were absolutely crazy. What was it like in Italy?
Yeah, I mean, where I was in FASA, the population wasn't really big, and our rink was decent size, but we wouldn't fill it. But the people that came, I mean, they're so loud and they get so into it. It's crazy. It's definitely fun to play in front of.
Yeah, no, that's 100%. That was kind of the same takeaway I got from when we were in Germany, because like the uh, the stadiums, they wouldn't fill up. Like it would probably be a barn that fills like maybe 1,200, and they would fill up with like 800.
Hmm.
But like those 800 people were honestly like, sometimes like I've seen crowds of like 12,000 in North America, and those 800 Germans 100% out cheered the
Yeah,
12,000.
yeah, yeah, for sure. They get so into it.
That's crazy. Were any crazy fan interactions you remember?
No, no, nothing like that. Maybe we had a game in Austria and it was a pretty big game. It was like to see if we would have a chance to go in the playoffs, and we lost. And I remember the fans were just throwing beer cans at us when we were going into the dressing room, like just a bunch of beer cans thrown at us.
Yeah. Eh?
That's probably, yeah.
Anybody get a little rowdy? Anybody want a retaliation of that, or?
No, no, nothing like that, but pretty funny.
Yeah, eh? It's always incredible. I find I'm excited to see just like even like as the U Sports brand grows. I mean, you see more and more guys commit overseas, so I'm always excited to kind of see who commits where, and then pay attention to kind of each league and stuff like that, and like what kind of guys are there. Because I mean, for me personally, like I'm not a fan of teams, but I'm almost a fan of like the players and like the guys that I've
Hmm.
gotten to like work with and see. So I mean, when I think this is the first time like I've ever paid attention to the Alps League and FASA for the first time in my life was
Yeah.
when you went over there, right? But yeah, no, it's cool to see.
Hmm. Yeah, that's funny. I appreciate all the support too. It means a lot.
Yeah, no, hopefully I can shoot one of your games sometime soon, and yeah, the only Griffin I'll photograph.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Okay, man, but that's all I got for you. Thanks so much for doing this. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. And yeah, hopefully, like I said, we'll see you back on the ice soon, and wish you nothing but the best.
All right. Yep. See you soon. Stay safe.
Okay, guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode. Thanks so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And yeah, if you want, leave us a review. Let us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong. Also, make sure to check out the YouTube channel. We're doing a lot of cool things over there. A lot of videos with athletes, and then some cool vlog series coming up shortly. In the meantime, stay best kind.